having led us here to the Mandir. And for those of you who are viewing us online on YouTube or on Facebook, Shubh Swagatam. May Bhagwan bless you. May He bless your families as well. This morning, as we come in the presence of Bhagwan, different circumstances may prevail us. Our hearts may be filled with different thoughts or different emotions. But regardless of our circumstance, regardless of our mindset and our disposition, we come filled with that love, filled with that bhav for Bhagwan. And as we offer ourselves to Him this morning, I invite us all as we stand, as we would do, assuming that position of reverence, assuming that prayerful attitude and demeanor. We gaze at the murtis before us in whichever form we find most endearing, most appealing to us. I invite us to gaze at that particular form, to allow our gaze to rest eventually on the smiling countenance of Bhagwan, and capturing that wonderful, wonderful feeling and emotion in our heart, we close our eyes as we go within and engage in invocation. Hari Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Om Shri Saraswatye Namah. Om Shri Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Namah. Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirvignam Guru Me Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvara Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostute Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadguru Nagindraharaya Trilochanaya Bhasmangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambaragaya Tasmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandra Mavedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaye Pataye Namah. Om Manojavam Marutulya Vegyam Jetindriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanadiyutamukam Shri Ramadutam Shri Namami. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. May we resume our seats as we engage now in Kirtan. I invite us all to blend our voices together as we glorify Bhagwan.
Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva. Mata Janki Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Mata Janki Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva. Mata Janki Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Mata Janki Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Ek dant dayavant char bhujadhari. Ek dant dayavant char bhujadhari. Mathe sindur sohi musiki savari. Mathe sindur sohi musiki savari. An dhan ko aap dekh ko din ko kaya. धन को पुत्र देत निर्धन को माया। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा। माता जानकी पार्वती पिता महादेवा। माता जानकी पार्वती पिता महादेवा। पान चढ़े फूल चढ़े और चढ़े मेवा। पान चढ़े फूल चढ़े और चढ़े मेवा। लदवन को भोग लगे संत करे सेवा। लदवन को भोग लगे संत करे सेवा। रिधि सीधी सात सोहे कार्तिकेय भ्राता। रिधि सीधी सात सोहे कार्तिकेय भ्राता। दीन जानी शरण राखी सुफल की जय सेवा। दीन जानी शरण राखी सुफल की जय सेवा। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा। माता जानकी पार्वती पिता महादेवा। माता जानकी पार्वती पिता महादेवा। माता जानकी पार्वती पिता महादेवा। माता जानकी पार्वती पिता महादेवा।
प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय. We continue with Kirtan at this juncture, engaging in Hanuman Chalisa. Shiv Chalisa, I'm told. We're singing, glorifying Shiv Chalisa, Shivji Bhagwan, as we engage in Shiv Chalisa, approaching Mahashivratri. So we all join together. The words would appear on the screen, and let us all render this tribute and our puja and offering to Shankar Bhagwan.
जय गणेश गिरिजा सुवन मंगल मूल सुजान। कहत अयोध्या दास तुम देहु अभय वरदान। जय गिरिजापति दीन दयाला सदा करत संतन प्रतिपाला। बाल चंद्रमा सोहत नीके कानन कुंडल दाग बड़ी के। अंग गौर शिर गंग बहाई मुंड माल तन छार लगाई। अस्त्र काल बागंबर सोहे छवि को देख नाग मुनि मोहे। ओम नमः बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय। मैं न मातु की होवे दुलारी वाम अंग सोहत छवि न्यारी। कर त्रिशूल सोहत छवि भारी करत सदा शत्रुन जयकारी। नंदी गणेश सोहेतः कैसे सागर मध्य कमल है जैसे। कार्तिक श्याम और गणराम छवि को कही जात न काऊ। देवन जब ही जाय पुकारा तब ही दुख प्रभु आप निवारा। किया उपद्रव तारक भारी देवन सब मिल तुम ही जुहारी। तुरत सदन आप पधायो लवनि वेश महामारी गिरायो। आप जलंधर असुर संहारा सुयश तुम्हारे विदित संहारा। ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय। त्रिपुरासुर सन युद्ध मचाई सब ही कृपा कर दीन बचाई। दिया तपहि भागीरथ भाड़ी पूर्व प्रतिज्ञा तास पुरारी। जान नमः तुम सम कोई नाही सेवक स्तुति करत सदाही। वेद नाम महिमा तब गाई अगत अनादि भेद नहीं पाई। भगत उधति मंथन में ज्वाला जड़े सुरासुर भये विहाला। किया दया दया कह कारज भाई, नीलकंठ तब नाम कहाई। पूजन रामचंद्र जब कीन्हा, जीत के लंक विभीषण दीन्हा। सहस कमल में हो रहे धाड़ी, कीन्हा परीक्षा तब ही पुरारी। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय। एक कमल प्रभु राखे जोई, कमल नयन पूजन चह सोई। कथिन भक्ति देखी प्रभु शंकर, भये प्रसन्न दिए चितवर। जय 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 अनंत अविनाशी, करत कृपा सबके घटवासी। दुष्ट सकल नित मोहि सतावे, भ्रमर रहे मोहि चैन न आवे। त्राहि त्राहि मैं नाथ पुकारो, यही अवसर मोहि आन उबारो। नए त्रिशूल शत्रुन को मारो, संकट से मोहि आन उबारो। मात पिता भ्राता सब होई, संकट में पूछत नहीं कोई। स्वामी एक है आस तुम्हारी, आय हरहु अब संकट भारी। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय। धन निर्धन को देत सदा ही, जो कोई चाचा वो फल पाही। स्तुति कही विधि करो तुम्हारी, क्षमहु नाथ अब झूक हमारी। शंकर हो संकट के नाशन, विघ्न विनाशन मंगल कारण। योगी यति मुनि ध्यान लगावे, शारद नारद शीश नवावे। नमो नमो जय नमो शिवाय, सुर ब्रह्मादिक पाड़ न पाया। जो यह पाठ करे मन लाई, तापन होत है शंभु सहाय। विनिया जो कोई हो अधिकारी, पात करे सो पावन हारी। पुत्रहीन कर इच्छा कोई, निश्चय शिव प्रसाद तेहि होई। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय। वंदित त्रयोदशी जो कोई लावे, ध्यान में पूर्वक होम करावे। त्रयोदशी व्रत करे हमेशा, तन नहीं ताके रहे कलेशा। धूप दीप नैवेद्य चढ़ावे, शंकर सन्मुख पाठ सुनावे। जन्म जन्म के पाप नसावे, अंतवास शिवपुर में पावे। कहे अयोध्या आस तुम्हारी, जान सकल दुख हरहु हमारी। जय 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 त्रिपुरारी, आय हरहु हर शरण तुम्हारी। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय।
प्रेम से बोल श्री उमापति महादेव की, प्रेम से बोल श्री उमापति महादेव की। हर नम पार्वती पतये, हर 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 महादेव। सीताराम सब कोई। How are you all? Hopefully you would have had a week that would have tested you to become better and stronger followers of Sanatan Dharma. And if you had a calm and peaceful week, Jai Shri Ram, may God continue to bless you in that way. As we face this week that is coming up, we continue to face it with God fully installed, not only in Ayodhya Vasi. Ayodhya Vasi Ram Ram Dasharath Nandan Ram. So even though he's installed there, this is where he should be installed most importantly. to all of you who have taken the time to come today, to be here today, to pray together with us today. May God continue to bless you. Let us do as we've been doing, singing the Ramayana Sumiran. As I've explained before, the Ramayana Sumiran is a prayer to Ganesh Ji, Vishnu Bhagwan, Shankar Bhagwan, and to our Guru. And in this way, we offer prarthana as we close our eyes as best as possible. If we're not sure, of course, we can join the words that are there. And we join together. Jo sumirat siddh ho, गणनायक करिवर वदन, करहु अनुग्रह सो, बुद्धि राशि शुभ गुण सदना, मुख होई वाचा, पंगु चढ़े गिरिवर कृपा सुदया, द्रवहु सकल कलिमल दहना, नील सरोरुह श्याम, तरुण अरुण वाणिज नयना, करौ सो मम उर्धार, क्षीर सागर शयना, कुंद इंदु समदे, कुमारमण करुणायना, चाहि दीन परने, करहु कृपा मर्दन, वंदो गुरु पद गंज, कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरि, महामोह तम पूज, जासु वचन रवि करणी करा, जो सुमिरत सिद्ध हो, करिवर वदना, करहु अनुग्रह सोई, बुद्धि राशि शुभ गुण सधना, बुद्धि राशि शुभ गुण सधना, बुद्धि राशि शुभ गुण सधना। प्रेम से बोलो सियापति रामचंद्र भगवान की। Today, I would like to ask us if we could put up the picture I had specifically looked for and found. Can you see the picture clearly enough? To the little children who are here and the bigger children, who is in the picture? Son, who's in the picture? Here's the hint. He's holding a dhanush. That is the bow. He's sitting with Sita Mata. Who is it? Who is it? Shri Ram. Shri Ram, Sita Mata in the forest with the deer around. Do you see the deer? And what's the little deer called? A fawn. And they're by the river. And they're in Nitya. So that picture, I want us to look at that picture, and then I want us to take that picture into our mind, and then I want us to close our eyes. And if we forget what the picture looks like, you can open back your eye and look back at the picture, because this is our meditation today. Remember, a couple weeks ago, when we started, I recited, Siya Ram main sab jag jani, karahu pranam jori jug pani. You remember what it means? Somebody from here tell me what it means. Siya Ram mein sab jag jani. Throughout the world, wherever we turn, there is God. Sita Mata Shri Ram. Karahu pranam, and I put my hands together. Jodi Jugapani, and I put my hands together and I recognize their presence everywhere. So in our meditation, we are closing our eyes and seeing that picture and seeing them everywhere. Wherever they are, wherever we are, when we close our eyes, we are looking for that picture. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Siya Ram mein sab jag
jani,
karahu pranam jodi jog pani. You sing. Siya Ram mein
sab jag jani.
I want to hear you. Karahu pranam jodi joga. Again, I want to hear all of you. Siya Ram mein. Very good. Karahu pranam jodi joga. Now let's sing with Jod. Siya Ram mein. Everybody. Karahu pranam jod. Siya Ram mein sab jag jani, karahu pranam jodi jog pani. I'm pausing for a moment. Is everybody seeing Shri Ram in their mind? Is there anybody who is not? If you're not, that's okay. Continue to look at the picture. Focus on the picture. What do you see? What color is his dhoti? What color is her sari? That practice of looking at the picture and focusing on all of those details imprints it into your mind. So wherever you are, whoever you are with, whatever you are doing, if you close your eyes and you see that picture in your mind, you're saying, Siya Ram mein sab jag jani, karahu pranam jodi jog. Now I want you to close your eyes and sing again. Siya Ram mein
sab jag jani, karahu pranam jodi jug pani.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. प्रेम से बोलो सियापति रामचंद्र की. Tell me if you were able to. If you were not able to, that's okay. But I want us to continue this practice of looking for the picture. Find a picture. We can send this picture to you. You can find a picture of your own that you particularly like. What I like about this picture is the tranquility around them. To know that around me as well, I want to have that peace. I want to have that sense of reality, of nature, of greenery, of success, and of happiness. So today, we move on to another chaupai, which is a beautiful, beautiful chaupai. I know that you're familiar with it. But just as we've been doing before, we are learning these by heart, because we must be able to sing them by heart wherever we are. And just as how we've practiced this morning, Siya Rama Mai, you finish it for me, Siya Rama Mai, Karahu Pranam, Jori Jug Pani, Karahu Pranam. So if anybody starts that, you say, I know that chaupai somewhere. So this we will sing it a little different. But the words are what we know. Mangal Bhavana. Let's pause there. Mangal Bhavan. Mangal. Remember Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvat Sadhike. Mangal is auspiciousness and happiness. Mangala Bhavan. That abode, that palace, that great place of happiness. Amangala Hari. So if Mangal is auspiciousness, Amangal is inauspiciousness. Hari, the remover of inauspiciousness and negativity. Dravau Sudasarata Achara Vihari. And just as we celebrated on Monday, in that courtyard of Raja Dashrath, this little Sri Ram was. And he is the one to remove it. All of the negativity and instill in us positivity. So this is a beautiful chaupai to be said if we feel that things are not going right around us. I'm feeling a little bit off. I'm just feeling negative today. Something is happening and I need auspiciousness in my life. We sing, Mangal Bhavana Mangal Hari Dravau Sodasarath Ajira Vihari Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Jai Jai Ram
Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Oh Mangal Bhavana Mangal Hari Dravau Sodasarath Ajira Vihari Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Jai Jai Ram. Oh Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Jai Jai Ram. Again. Mangal Bhavana Mangal Hari. Is it too high for you? Should I sing it lower? Mangal Bhavana Mangal Hari Dravau Sodasarath Ajira Vihari Ram Siya Ram Siya Mangal Bhavana. So I will sing it first and then you repeat after me so we will get the tune. Mangal Bhavana, you. Amangal Hari. See if you could do that. Amangal Hari. It helps with your breath and your breathing. Mangal Bhavana, Mangal Hari. Your turn. Mangal, Amangal Hari. Now repeat after me. Drava Sudasharatha. Again, we're breaking it up. Drava Sudasharatha. Drava Sudasharatha. Drava Sudasharatha. Drava Sudasharatha. Achara Bihari. Achara Bihari. Achara Bihari. Achara Bihari. Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Oh Ram,
Siya Ram, Siya Ram.
we're doing the whole thing now. Mangal Bhavana, Mangal Hari. Drava Sudasharatha, Achara Bihari. Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Oh Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Oh Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. प्रेम से बोलो सियापति रामचंद्र की. सियापति रामचंद्र. सिया सीता माता, pati husband Shri Ram. We bow to the husband of Sita Mata, Shri Ram Bhagwan. प्रेम से बोलो सियापति रामचंद्र भगवान की. So by in that Jai Jai card we invite both of them. Otherwise we say different time. Sometimes we say Dasharatha Nandan Shri Ram Chandra ki Jai. So different forms and different memories about him we sometimes say in the Jai Jai card. We have to recognize that. So today we have rehearsed 2 chaupais. What was the first one? The reminder is the picture. Siya Ram mein Karahu Pranam. And the second one was Mangala Bhavana Dravau Sudasharata. So practice that. Next week we will rehearse that. We will sing it. You will sing it by yourself. I will just watch and clap along. I will close my eyes and I will listen to the beautiful melody of my beloved family who is here singing along and praying along and leading us in bhajan and chaupais. Prem se bolo Siyapati Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai.
Thank you very much, Panditji. We now invite the teachers of the Balvihar class, children's class, to move downstairs with the children. All children, please move quietly downstairs. Even those who may be with us for the first time today, you are invited to please join and to participate as we've been saying. Yes, the class is on. Very well. Excellent. So again, we want to extend commendations to parents and guardians who brought out the children to attend this class. And again, we make the appeal for persons who may be viewing online to please continue to do so. That investment that you make in the well-being of your children, grandchildren, and others will indeed redound to your benefit later on. We join our palms together. One brief mantra before we begin our pravachan. Hari Om कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदावसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि प्रेम से बोले उमापति महादेव की जय. It is rather coincidental how sometimes things occur without being planned, and there's no collusion. This morning I had no idea what Pandit Devendra's focus on the Ramcharitmanas would be, or the intended Chaupai. And I was just sitting there, even the picture that was put up, I did see it this morning just before we started, but I did not see it before. And this morning, I want to speak on a topic which really, I think, reinforces what Panditji has been doing and continues to do each and every Sunday, both last year, this year, and even before. Very often as Hindus, we are told about, uplifting ourselves and doing those things that would make us elevated, those things that would remove the difficulties and so on. And many things are told to us, for example, japam, recitation of your mantra, your Guru mantra, or other mantras that you find appealing and meaningful to you. The performance of puja, engaging in meditation, kirtanam, singing of bhajan, and so on. And it is true that sometimes, even when we're in the midst of doing this, that our mind becomes distracted, so that we may close our eyes. So Panditji said, focus on the picture, that particular image, and see if you visualize Prabhu Shri Ram. And immediately we may, and then our mind becomes so chanchal that sometimes it's distracted into something else. And then, as per instruction, we then come back. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Bhagwan speaks to Arjuna and to us all about different pathways. So we are familiar with the pathway of Bhakti Yoga, of Jnana Yoga, and all of this really are different pathways and different avenues that will allow us to have that one-pointedness of mind and that focus. One of the pathways suggested by Krishna Bhagwan to Arjuna and to us all is Karma Yoga, or the pathway of action. And for us, for example, when you sit to perform a puja, there are many things that are going on, and I'm not talking about everybody who's around, but there are many things that are going on in any puja that you do. It involves that aspect or that mental aspect. It involves the senses, perceptual and otherwise. But most importantly, it involves the mind. And the way in which those things are harnessed is very often through the performance of action. So the Panditji will tell you, okay, take flowers in your hand now, close your eyes, focus on God, and mantras are recited, and your offerings of various things are done, all of the samagri and all of that. And it is really that act of doing that allows you to tie it all in together, hopefully. For the teachers amongst us as well, you would recognize that students are different learners. They have different types of students who learn differently. There are learners who are auditory, so by listening to, they are able to absorb and they are able to relate to and they are able to understand. Then you have other learners who are visual, just by looking, seeing something, seeing a PowerPoint presentation, they're able to do similarly. But then you have a third type of learner, that one who learns by doing. And that's why, for example, certain activities are given, that you perform certain actions, kinesthetic learners they're called, that they learn better by doing. And there are persons sometimes who are in the same way when we speak about spiritual development and spiritual evolution and upliftment, the act of doing is a very important part of that, has been seen by the various measures that are adopted. Part of that is what is prescribed in our scriptures for each and every Hindu to do on a daily basis. So we're not talking about every Sunday. We're not talking about once for the year. We're talking about each and every day. All Hindus are recommended or instructed that there are certain things that we should perform on a daily basis. And they're referred to as the Panch Mahayagyas, or different actions that should be performed on a daily basis. And sometimes we are able to do that each and every day. Other times we might be able to do some, other times maybe none. And we must be cognizant of what they are, how we can engage in those practices, and what is the relevance and implication for us and for those around us. One of those is Rishi Veda Yagya, and that is offering service, offering salutations, offering puja to either holy persons or to our scriptures. Now, if, for example, your Guruji comes to you, you will say, well, okay, I perform his arti, I give him gifts and so on, we have that conversation, and that is a way in which I would honor him. But how many times would your Guruji interact with you on a daily basis? How many times do we have the opportunity to see and to interact with holy persons on a daily basis? Maybe not as often as we would like, but akin to that is the study of our scripture. And Pandit Devendra has, since last year, been instructing us in, first of all, Bhagavad Gita, and this year Chaupai and Doha from Ramayana. And very often he would say, well, go back home and reflect on these things and learn these things, and to try and give you that opportunity. And for me, for example, the day is a very busy one, as I'm sure everybody else is. But I try steadfastly every evening, this is just me relating, that to set aside at least half an hour before I go to bed to do some reading. And reading usually is of a particular kind in terms of scripture or something of that nature. So in the midst of our busy day, where our children can say, well, I have so much lessons and I have so much homework, which is true, but you could take a little bit of the day aside to focus on that and so fulfill that mandate or requirement of Veda Yagya. And what is the benefit of that? One, we become knowledgeable about our scriptures. And two, the other salient parts of understanding become relevant to us, become more meaningful. And these are the things that fortify and uplift us. So in the same way that the Bhagavad Gita was sitting on the benches here for the use every Sunday, you're free to take them and use them every single day and reflect and revise and go on to what we were doing last year, in addition to what we are learning. 15 minutes or more, if possible, each and every evening before we go to bed. Very often we are on these things, and these studies are showing us and telling us how detrimental that is for good sleep. Very often you hear young people saying, I can't sleep, I'm not sleeping properly, I have this kind of bad feeling or bad dreams or bad whatever, energies. And you know why? Very often what we are looking on these things and what we're doing. Social media is sometimes a good thing, but very often it is not a good thing. It brings about anxiety and depression and so on, particularly for the young ones and even the older ones. So that's one of the daily practices. The second one is Pitri Yagya. Oh yes, we do that every Pitri Paksh. And again, Pandit Ji, for several years now, we have the opportunity during Pitri Paksh to come and offer Tilanjali and so on. Wonderful. But on a daily basis, what do we do, first of all, to remember our foreparents and our ancestors and to honor them? And again, we're speaking in terms of action. First of all, do we remember our ancestors on a daily basis? Some people may say, yes, I think about my deceased parent or whoever it is on a daily basis. That's wonderful. But what was the purpose of that remembrance? Is it a sense of sadness? And that is natural, especially when you've recently lost someone. But it should be more than that. It should be a remembrance of what they have contributed to allow me to be who I am today. And more than that, what am I doing to honor that contribution or that legacy? How do I live my life? What are the things that I do that carry on the legacy of my parents, my grandparents, and things of that nature? I remember having a conversation with someone, I won't say who, and he said he was about to leave the country to go and study abroad. And he was one of the first children in his family to do that. This is a couple generations ago I'm talking about, where it was not the norm. And his parents were quite rightly concerned because you are sending off a young person to parts unknown. You didn't have the regularity of travel that you had now. You didn't have all of the social media contact that you have now. So basically when you're gone for a couple months or years at least, until you're finished and then you return. And the instruction given to that young man at the time by his father was, son, you are going to study, but I want you to always remember who your father is. And he said at that time that really did not resonate with him until he reflected on it years later to understand that what his father was trying to tell him was you come from a tradition and a legacy and lineage in which certain values have been put onto you, have been recommended to you. And therefore the greatest honor that you can give to your parents is to hold fast to that tradition and to those legacies that are there. Very often in the interest of freedom and liberty, and you know I am independent and I'm educated, people go and traverse and do all sorts of things, only to come full circle when they realize that those actions are not as desirable as they perceive them to be initially. So honoring our parents and so on, we could do that very tangibly by how we live our lives. For those who have your parents available to you now, do you greet them on a daily basis in a loving way? Perform their arati maybe, touch their feet, seek their blessings, interact with them if you're able to do that. Is that something that we do that allows us to fulfill this responsibility? And again, if our thought processes are in this way, then think about the upliftment of our mind, our demeanor, and the example. Deva Yajna, that is the offering of ourselves and our puja to Bhagwan on a daily basis. Again, this is something that is recommended. Do we have in our homes a particular place that we call our puja room or our puja area? Is it something that is just there with cobwebs and dust, nobody here, just thinking out loud? Is it something that is put away and I said, look how nice it is adorned, but it's not something that is utilized? Or is it a place that we make it our business each and every day to go to sit before Bhagwan in that form of the murti and to offer our puja? And that puja could be offering our pratna, offering arti, a simple flower, and having a conversation with God in our own way, in our own heart. If we don't know all of the mantras and all of the prescribed rituals, no problem, but do we sit in the presence of Bhagwan and allow ourselves to be influenced positively? Sometimes I traverse the highway and I see vehicles with certain drivers, and on the dashboard of the vehicle, every particular murti you could think about. Poor Bhagwan roasting in the hot sun. And then you see the man overtake the side, cut behind somebody, one tail off another person, and Bhagwan right in front of him. And I'm thinking, well. Or you see some hands like this and all kinds of things in the back, and they tell you about this whatever and bless you and whatever else, and then the behavior of the driver of the vehicle. No judgment, maybe the owner of the vehicle and the driver are two different people, possibly. But we must think about that. Is our activity or our focus in terms of action of performing this puja and recognition to Bhagwan something that we do? It tells us in our scripture, from the time you open your eye in the morning, Karagre baste Lakshmi Karamadhe Saraswati Karmule tun Govinda Prabhakar Darshanam. Gazing at your palms, you recite that mantra, recognizing the presence of Bhagwan in all aspects, so that our actions for the day are guided by that. Our thought is guided by that. Offering jal in the morning, performing your puja. Again, we have the perfect excuses. Working in Port of Spain, so I have to leave home 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't have time to do this and so on. We could find every excuse. But can we find a reason to do it? And again, we will note the difference that will bring in our lives. Fourth one, Manusha Yagya. Service to man. Service to man. And how do we do that? Well, Panditji says service to man, so I've seen somebody by the traffic light, let me give him a $2. And I fulfill my obligation for the day. Well, there's merit in doing that. But more than that, in terms of genuine service, and we always remember the lesson for us in Katha of Draupadi Mata. Walking along the banks of the river Sarayu, there with her friends and so on, Rishi is bathing in the water, his clothing got washed away. Durvasa Muni of all people. And she recognized having that awareness, and what did she do? She performed that service by way of tearing her sari and giving it to him. He was so moved by that gesture that later on when she was being disrobed, that blessing came back for her benefit. Could not deplete that sari. So when we perform an action, a service to man, without any expectation of a reward or return, without any expectation of that, we are simply doing it selflessly for the benefit of, because we have the opportunity and because we can, then that uplifts that individual. But it also uplifts ourselves. Even if we are not doing it with a motive, there is a benefit. Think about if you are able, many persons do not understand the concept of poverty. And so, particularly young people, when we hear the stories, for example, of persons who have died recently and who've gone very far in terms of whatever. And again, I'll use, for example, the life of Basdev Pandey. When you hear, for example, is saying Mr. Pandey had no food and he had to walk barefoot and on, you can conceptualize doing that yourself. I remember as a young boy going to school in San Fernando, my father taught in Clark Road Hindu School, and often he would take me down when I was very small that day because of something not going on in school. So school was not going, he would take me down. And I was amazed that I would go there and there were children coming to school with no shoes on. We're talking about the 1970s. No shoes on, and I was flabbergasted, and I said, Dad, what's going on here? Why do they have no shoes? They forget their shoes home or what? And he said, no. They had no food. And teachers would take at that time a little piece of their sada roti that they brought for lunch and give it to the children so that they will have something to eat, because they didn't have school feeding program then. So that concept of poverty and hardship, many people do not understand it. But when persons are in that state, not because always of their own doing, but because of circumstances, they are being backed into a corner. And sometimes you wonder why crime and criminal behavior occurs. I'm not saying this is the only reason, but poverty is a contributing factor. And if we can help someone, help a family, uplift someone, persons want to go to school, they can't get their books or school uniform or whatever it is, and you can help somewhere, then do that. Because you never know that action that you are doing, how it changes the trajectory of the life of that individual. You never know. It could be a borderline situation between criminal actions and not, and because you give them, and you give them without expectation, you understand that that yajna that you're performing is indeed something that is helpful. How many of us, when we eat food, we leave some because we take out too much and we throw it away? How many of us do that? That is a sin. That is a sin. And we must never do that, because by us doing that, we are setting a poor example for our children. So those are some of the tangible ways in terms of service to man, and we could go on elucidating on these things for a lot longer, but time is upon us. Last one, Bhuta Yagya. Offering service to lower life forms. What are the lower life forms? Even where you are sitting right now is a life form. As much as we can't conceptualize that, well, that's inanimate, or is that a life form? There it is vested with atoms and particles, and all of that has divine energy. And our scriptures tell us about the millions of different life forms, from the most elevated to the least. How do we then honor that? Well, Pandji, you have a dog at home and take care of the dog and whatever else. Wonderful, great, perfect. But what about other animals and other life forms and so on? Do we, when we behave, for example, do things that directly or indirectly harm our environment? Do we? And if we are doing that, then we are transgressing this injunction that is given to us, or this mandate. If we are doing things that harm the environment, then we are not compliant with our scriptures. You know, I attended a function recently and I made the plea. I said, listen, you have these designated places where you could put your recyclables in and so on. And I observed after the function that some were compliant and many others were not. So what? Do I stop saying it? No, I'll keep saying it, but hopefully that they will become more compliant as we go along. Because it is important that we recognize that this type of practice that is mandated traverses all different types of life forms that we're dealing with. We hear about climate change, global warming, the oldest glacier now melting. And we wonder, you know, well, those impacts are there for us when we go outside and say, boy, I never feel hot sun like this before. It's true. I really have never felt hot sun like now. I remember as a young person playing in the yard in school and so on, running around the place, and it's not a problem. From the time you go out in the hot sun now for 10 minutes, you literally want to die. Air conditioning now has not become a luxury, it is a necessity for many people. Everybody complaining about Sahara dust and this, that, and the other. You have understood why these changes are occurring. It's because individuals and then collectively communities and then again exponentially countries are engaging in practices that are harmful to our environment. And we are seeing the consequences right before our eyes, and we are choosing very often to turn a blind eye. I'm really disappointed, for example, with the leadership of our country, where you go and you attend these climate change conferences, and then you come back and say, well, yes, that is so, but our economy is still oil and gas, and say what they want, we're going to do that. That is really ineffective leadership. It's ineffective. If you don't set the tone from above, how do you expect your followers to? So, these practices are physical actions that are recommended to us, that form part and parcel of the bhakti, of the knowledge, but this is also part of the action that brings it all together. And it's very simple. They are things that we can do every day. We all have it within ourselves, regardless of age, regardless of gender, regardless of status or whatever. It is something that we can all do in some form or some fashion. And it is something that I would strongly recommend that we all engage in. And as parents, we set the tone for our families and our children. Have discussions. When Panditji speaks about the various shlokas in Bhagavad Gita last year, we spoke about, for example, Ramayana Sumiran and it being a prayer, or about the various chaupais and so on. When you sit at home, sit and have a meal together and have a discussion with your family about that. Not about who did what on social media and this, which game and so on and all of that. That has its place. But these are more meaningful discussions that you need to have with your family on a daily basis. Well, Panditji, my children are abroad studying, no problem. Use the social media for that discussion. So it's a positive usage. So those are the things that I would like us to consider. There's just a thought, a reminder. These are things that we all know. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a reminder. And I thought that it tied in very nicely this morning with what Panditji had portrayed in terms of Ramcharitmanas. And even that image that was put up, that picture of Prabhu Shri Ram and Sita Mata in the midst of nature. In the midst of nature. Sitting peacefully. It is very important for us to be cognizant that our scriptures, thousands and thousands of years old and even older, are relevant for us, and even more so in the 21st century. Prem se bole Shri Ramachandra Bhagwan ki jai. We come forward and perform our arti. Let us all come up and offer our arti as we engage in kirtan.
जग में सुंदर है दो नाम, चाहे कृष्ण कहो या राम। जग में सुंदर है दो नाम, चाहे कृष्ण कहो या राम। बोलो राम 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 बोलो, श्याम 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 बोलो। राम 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 बोलो, श्याम श्याम श्याम। जग में सुंदर है दो नाम, चाहे कृष्ण कहो या राम। बोलो राम 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 बोलो, श्याम 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 बोलो। राम 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 बोलो, श्याम श्याम श्याम। माखन ब्रिज में एक चुरावे, एक बेर बिलनी के खावे। माखन ब्रिज में एक चुरावे, एक बेर बिलनी के खावे। प्रेम भाव से बड़े अनोखे, प्रेम भाव से बड़े अनोखे, दोनों पूरन काम। चाहे कृष्ण कहो या राम, जग में सुंदर है दो नाम। चाहे कृष्ण कहो या राम। बोलो राम 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 बोलो, श्याम 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 बोलो। राम 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 बोलो, श्याम श्याम श्याम। एक कंस पापी को मारे, एक दुष्ट रावण संहारे। एक कंस पापी को मारे, एक दुष्ट रावण संहारे। दोनों दीन के दुख हरत है, दोनों दीन के दुख हरत है, दोनों बल के धाम। चाहे कृष्ण कहो या राम, जग में सुंदर है दो नाम। चाहे कृष्ण कहो या राम। बोलो राम 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 बोलो, श्याम 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 बोलो। राम 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 बोलो, श्याम श्याम श्याम। एक राधिका के संग राजे, एक जानकी संग विराजे। एक राधिका के संग राजे, एक जानकी संग विराजे। चाहे सीताराम कहो, चाहे सीताराम कहो या बोलो राधे श्याम। चाहे कृष्ण कहो या राम, जग में सुंदर है दो नाम। चाहे कृष्ण कहो या राम। बोलो राम 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 बोलो, श्याम 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 बोलो। राम 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 बोलो, श्याम श्याम श्याम। हृदय में प्रेम बढ़ावे, एक ताप संताप मिटावे। एक हृदय में प्रेम बढ़ावे, एक ताप संताप मिटावे। दोनों सुख के सागर है और दोनों पूरन काम, चाहे कृष्ण कहो या राम, जग में सुंदर है दो नाम। चाहे कृष्ण कहो या राम, बोलो राम 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 बोलो, श्याम 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 बोलो, राम 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 बोलो, श्याम श्याम श्याम। जग में सुंदर है दो नाम, चाहे कृष्ण कहो या राम, बोलो राम 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 बोलो, श्याम 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 बोलो, राम 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 बोलो, श्याम 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 बोलो, राम 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 बोलो, श्याम श्याम श्याम।
दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ।
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 करुणा सागर माँ।
करुणा सागर माँ।
करुणा सागर माँ।
करुणा सागर माँ।
काली कपालिनी
दुर्गे दुर्गे जय जय माँ
दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ
दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ
करुणा सागर माँ
करुणा सागर माँ
काली कपालिनी माँ
काली कपालिनी माँ
जगदोधारिणी माँ
जगदोधारिणी माँ
जगदोधारिणी माँ
जगदोधारिणी माँ
महादेवी जय जय माँ
महादेवी जय जय माँ
महादेवी जय जय माँ
महादेवी जय जय माँ
दुर्गे
एक राम नाम प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम 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 प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम 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 परम गोप्य परम ईश्वर मंत्र राम नाम परम गोप्य परम ईश्वर मंत्र राम नाम संत हृदय सराब सत एक राम नाम संत हृदय सराब सत एक राम नाम प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम 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 प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम राम
प्रेम से बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. Before we stand for Arti, very few announcements this morning, but meaningful announcements hopefully. So once more, we want to extend a very warm, cordial welcome to each and everyone this morning. Those of you who are with us for the first time, or those of you who are back with us after some period of absence, we welcome you to once more back to family at the Krishna Mandir, and we look forward to seeing you all with us each and every Sunday from 8:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. You're reminded as well of the many classes and activities that take place, including Bhagavad Gita class, yoga class. There are various music classes that are conducted on a Tuesday, on a Thursday, and BVS classes on a Saturday, so that the Mandir is always a beehive of activity that you can facilitate, that you can utilize to facilitate the development of yourselves, your children, grandchildren, and others. So please avail yourselves of these opportunities that are presented right here at the Mandir. Those of you who wish to sit to perform a Havan on a Sunday morning or puja, you can see members of the management committee after. This morning, I would direct you to Roger so that he can take your names and the necessary arrangements can be made. And similarly, those of you who would like to make contributions towards the upkeep and the running of the Mandir, we welcome those donations because that is the revenue stream through which we are able to sustain the activities and the maintenance of the building and so on. So any contribution that you can make, it will be most welcome. For those of you who are viewing us online, you will see the banking information appearing at the bottom on a ticker tape, and you can make your contributions. They will be recognized and receipts issued. Upcoming activities, as you know, Mahashivratri will be observed on the 8th of March. That's a Friday evening. You will be getting more details about the format of that puja for the evening and observance. And we ask you to prepare yourselves in anticipation of that. Basant Panchami takes place on the 13th. And for us, unfortunately, we are in a zone that gives us a little bit of a challenge to come to the Mandir on that day. It is Carnival Tuesday. So what we will be doing is we're having Saraswati Mata Puja on the Sunday before, which would be the 11th. And those of you who wish to join in, Vishnu is leading us, because Vishnu is marking a very special time. It's his birthday upcoming around that time. So he's leading us, but you're welcome to join with Vishnu in terms of that. And more immediately on Saturday, that's this Saturday coming, the 3rd, we'll be having Hanumanji Puja. We've done this once before in December, and persons who attended thought that they would like to participate in doing that, so we're trying our best to accommodate. Unfortunately, we could not host in January, but we are looking from February onwards the first Saturday of each and every month to have this puja. So this Saturday, those of you who are interested in coming to sit for puja, please come for 7:30 so that we could start. We hope to finish by 10, everything. So if you would like to charawi, you can come. If you'd like to attend, come. It is really not about any messages. It is about performing puja, rendering Hanuman Chalisa, and so on. So you are invited to come, start your day off that way, and participate in puja. I don't think there are any other announcements that I'm aware of, and therefore I want us all to now stand as we engage in arati and then closing prayer.
ॐ जय जगदीश हरि स्वामी जय जगदीश हरि भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ॐ जय जगदीश हरे जो ध्यावे फल पावे दुख बिन से मन का स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का सुख संपत्ति घर आवे सुख संपत्ति घर आवे कष्ट मिटे तन का ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मात पिता तुम मेरे शरण कहूँ किसकी स्वामी शरण कहूँ किसकी तुम बिन और न दूजा तुम बिन और न दूजा आश करो जिसकी ॐ जय जगदीश हरे तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा तुम अंतर्यामी स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी ॐ जय जगदीश हरे तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता हम सेवक तुम स्वामी हम सेवक तुम स्वामी कृपा करो भरता ॐ जय जगदीश हरे तुम हो एक गोचर सबके प्राणपति स्वामी सबके प्राणपति किस विधि मिलो दया में किस विधि मिलो दया में तुम हो मैं कुमति ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ॐ जय जगदीश
As we conclude our puja and our satsang this morning, recognizing that as we commence this new week, that we may be faced with difficult times, with difficult decisions, with experiences that may be undesirable. In the midst of that all, we remain firmly in our belief that Bhagwan is firmly resident within us and around us, and that faith, that Shraddha, will see us through any difficulty or any challenge. We pray in a special way this morning not only for ourselves, but for persons who may have lost their loved ones, persons who may be ill and at home, persons who may be ailing in hospitals and medical facilities. O Prabhu, we ask you to shower your blessings upon them and to relieve them of their difficulty. For you, O Prabhu, are mother and father, you are family, you are friend, you are knowledge, you are wealth, you are everything to us. We surrender ourselves completely to you. We join together now in closing mantra. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva tvameva bandhu cha seka tvameva tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Om Sato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, आज शक्ति जगदम्बा देवी मैया की जय, श्री पवनपुत्र हनुमान की जय। प्रेम से बोले श्री सच्चे सनातन धर्म की जय। To those around you, sab koi jai jai Sitaram. For those of you celebrating birthdays, anniversaries or other special occasions, may Bhagwan bless you all. Have a very powerful, productive, safe week ahead, and we look forward to seeing you with us Saturday morning for Hanumanji Puja and then on Sunday morning for our Satsang and Puja. Jai Sitaram all.